Alright, boys and girls, welcome to the first episode of... I haven't even thought of a name for it. You got any names, bro?
Okay, that's the name of it. I don't even have a name for it.
I don't even have a name for the podcast. Okay, I'll think of something later. But in the first episode of the podcast today, I have a little guest here, which is...
What up?
My friend. His name is...
Okay, what up, people? My name's Phong.
Okay.
We're here with, what should I call you?
I'm gonna be your host for today. My name's An, and just for the record, we're both Vietnamese people, but we're just accidentally really good at English.
Yeah,
okay?
Accidentally.
Okay. So a little bit about Phong. You wanna go through your, just say overall what you're about.
Alright, so
where you've been.
I'm 18, first year college student. Right now I'm studying at University of Cincinnati, and yeah, I spent high school with this dude, and we're good friends until now. I mean, at least until now.
At least until now.
Both are football players.
Okay.
Close friend, I guess.
Alright, I guess. But yeah, I don't actually know what the topic of today's podcast is gonna be, but we are right now at his place, and we're just gonna probably start from the beginning. Alright, so from the beginning, when you were born. How was that like? Where were you born at?
Oh, okay. So I actually didn't grow up in Hanoi, which is where we're staying at right now. I live in a small town, like 30 kilometers away. And yeah, I spent since, I've been there since I was born until like the end of middle school. And I transferred here to Hanoi so that I can have a greater chance of studying abroad, which I actually succeeded about. And yeah, that's how I end up here.
Okay, so hold up. I'm sorry, I'm a bit lost for words right now. This is the first podcast we're doing, so 30 kilometers away from Hanoi, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So just for the record, you're 18, I'm 19. Mm-hmm. We're still in the same age group and all that. Yeah. So how different is Hanoi and where you were born at? 30 kilometers away, is there a lot of like cultural differences and all that?
Oh my god, dude. There is a big difference, definitely. First of all, I would definitely say that as a kid growing up, not in the capital, I have the chance to play sport more. That's okay. Definitely. Because here in Hanoi, we don't have that much space for like children to like hang out or just do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in my hometown, oh my god, we got fields like everywhere. And yeah, I used to play soccer every afternoon after school. So yeah, that's a big difference, definitely. Besides that, we don't have that much kind of entertainment, definitely, because it's not the centers. Besides, yeah, people over there, since the what should I call it? The income in general is lower, definitely. So for some reason, I feel like people there, they are kind of closer to each other, Like, for example, like you and your neighbor, they're definitely gonna know each other's like parents or stuff like that. But here, I don't even know what's my neighbor's name. So yeah, that's the thing. That's a big thing too.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of differences, and it's not even that far away from each other. Yeah,
only
30 kilometers.
Yeah.
Just goes to show, how small Vietnam is, I guess. So, okay, middle school, okay? Just to clarify to the watchers, how old were you when you actually moved to Hanoi, like the end of middle school?
I would say 14. 14, almost okay. 15, yeah, 14, about that.
Okay. So, do you still keep up with your friends back in your hometown, or, is it like, just you lost contact?
Well, I think people are different, definitely. But I actually don't keep that much connection with my friends because I had a few problems when I was in 9th grade. So, yeah, it just didn't end up well. And now, I still do keep them in contact. We talk like sometimes, but not that much. And yeah, generally, no.
It's hard, eh? It's real hard. Okay, so anything more about your childhood, like from 0 to 14? Or is there anything that stands out? Memories?
Yeah. Stand out? Yeah, definitely. I used to want to be a football player, like professional football player.
Okay.
It was like big dream. Since that football is such a big sport in Vietnam, and I would say every single kids that used to play football, they want to be professional football player too. So yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you just play around all day, and it's just kind of becomes a dream inside of you, an internal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did your parents like football? Did they push you towards football, or was it just going out to the field every day and then doing your craft?
I would say both. My mom is not that big of a fan, but my dad, oh my god, he used to play football when he was young. I mean, he's too old to play now, but I bet that if he still strong enough, he will. And yeah, his favorite team was Manchester United. So that's also one of the reasons why I kind of like that team, to be honest. Also, as I mentioned, because I have the environment, and again, football is a big sport in Vietnam. So both of those things, it really makes football special to me, to be honest. I don't have any specific word to describe it, but yeah, it got a special place in me.
Okay. So that's your life from 0 to 14, and you decided to move out to Hanoi. So you already mentioned that there was a specific reason, because your parents wanted you to get more opportunities and go overseas. But at that time, what did you feel about it? Like, not your parents, but you, about the move.
Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna be honest with all of you. I didn't have any clue what would I do with my future, to be honest. That is also a reason why I wasn't that decisive. So the transition between that town and to Hanoi is a really, I struggle a lot, to be honest. So because I didn't know what I wanted to do, my parents just said, okay, you get out of this country. So they planned everything ahead. I've only moved to Hanoi until I was in high school, but I've already started traveling back and forth to Hanoi to study English since I was in 4th grade. So yeah, my dad, he invested a lot in me, a lot. So I didn't have any plans, as I said, so I just came here as what my parents planned, and I just followed them. I didn't have any plan. Until I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was 17, which is music. I really want to do something with music, and right now I am working on it. But since I realized my passion too late, right now I am studying information technology. Since
IT.
Right now.
We'll get to it later. We'll talk about how it is. Okay.
Right.
So, from a young age, your parents really wanted you to, I guess, gain knowledge in English and get the hang of it. Did you at any point feel pressured by your parents, or was it just a natural thing where you wanted to learn it, or there was a lot of pressure maybe?
Again, I wasn't that decisive, so I just went with it. Maybe because I'm Asian, I didn't feel that much pressure. It's just study in general, and I don't have a big problem with studying. So I could keep up with it. It's just not that interesting to me.
Okay. So, since you're really good at English now, how do you view English as a tool, or do you consider it something that's really changed your life and your perspective on life as general? How beneficial has English been to your life overall?
Oh yeah, so talking about the miracle of language.
Yeah, okay.
I would say there's so much thing to appreciate about a language, because it reveals a lot of things about culture, about people, and yes, as you said, it is also a very useful tool to gain knowledge, especially when most of the world are using English right now. Yeah, I would say both, because I can use a tool, I can go online. With English, you can literally access to any knowledge. But also, I would say I really appreciate the beauty of it, because there's so much history in that language alone.
I sometimes feel like that too. I feel like the people who choose to be, single language, so they only speak their mother tongue and they refuse to learn English or any other languages, they miss out on so much information and so much cultural diversity that it's really not optimal for you to do.
Yeah, and also the thing is, as a bilingual, kind of cannot explain to them what is the benefits of studying another language, because I mean, if they don't want to, they won't listen to you. So that's also a thing, I guess.
I also feel like there's a huge difference between the people who study English to know English and the people who really embrace the language and embrace the language's culture. You feel that as well?
I mean, yeah, definitely, because that is also a problem with Vietnam students in general right now, because so there is a certificate called IELTS. It's oh my god. So right now, literally every parents want their kids to like study and take that test just because they need it for jobs and stuff like that. And again, it really makes the definition of studying a language dull and unnecessary, because
Very true.
because they underestimate it so much. I mean, it is a tool, definitely, but there's so much more beauty in learning a language that studying like that cannot bring to you. So I would say that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, English is definitely a very eye-opening tool. Okay, so getting back to our timeline, you're now 15, you've just came to Hanoi. What are your first impressions about the city, you know, how the life is here, and the people around you?
Okay, so I was kind of social awkward back then. So I mean, if now I can travel back to time, it would be definitely different. But I would say it was kind of a culture shock to me, because oh my god, y'all play so much.
True.
Because as I said, we didn't have that much entertainment back in my hometown. So how should I put this? So first thing is, there are so many people, and as such a anxious kid like me, at first I did have a hard time getting to know people and getting used to the environment. But yeah, after times, I mean, because the silhouette of a class in Vietnam, it really helps people like me. I mean, you sit in class all day with the same people for the whole year. Yeah, I mean, eventually you're gonna get to know people. So, that. I think that's it. That's all I got, to be honest.
Hey, I still remember, man, in 10th year when I first came in, I didn't really even notice you that much. I just noticed that you were a decent baller. You know, we were on the same team. We won our first few tournaments together. You were a decent baller. And besides that, you really didn't stand out, you know, from like talking a lot. I was the talkative. I talked maybe a little bit too much to the point where people hated me. But yeah. So, you know, 10th grade, are there, you know, anything that stands out in your first year in Hanoi?
Oh yeah, I would say I used the whole 10th grade just to get used to the environment. Because as I said, I mean, the silhouette of classes in Vietnam is the same everywhere. The way that students in Hanoi interact with each other is so much different.
In what way, specifically?
Like this. Okay, so in our high school, there are like 10 classes in one grade, right?
Yeah.
Back in my hometown, not my country.
Okay. No.
There's only 2, so which makes things. At first, it feels kind of hard to be in that environment since there's so many people, but they're actually way friendlier than I guess, because in Hanoi there are so much more events. As I said, because of the entertainment thing. So there's so much more events, and generally it gives you more opportunity to get to know people. I didn't have that hard time getting to know people back in my hometown, because I mean we were small, like small. But so I didn't expect it to be that easy to you know, get to know, because there are clubs, there are events, and people are really friendly. Definitely, I think that would be a really great trait of Vietnamese in general, because we are really friendly people. So yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't expect to know that many people and become such good friends.
Really life-lasting friends, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
it's something that came as a bit of a surprise for me as well. I came back from Japan around the same time where you went into high school, and at first I really didn't expect anything as well, but you make some really good friends along the way, make a lot of good memories, and just really good life, long-lasting relationships. But yeah, when you first moved to Hanoi, how was the family dynamic like? Because it's not just you that moved to Hanoi, your whole family moved. I know you got a brother, I know you got your parents, and you got this new house. So how were things like in the family?
In the family at first, it was a hard time definitely because although like we moved to Hanoi, my father, he owned a factory to himself, which he cannot just quit, Therefore, he traveled back and forth every day, twice every day. And my mom, she used to be a middle school teacher, so she traveled with him too. So which makes things kind of hard for me because I wasn't that independent. But out of a instant, I had to take care of my brother like every morning and every afternoon. I mean, I only took him to school and took him back, but yeah, it was really hard for us, for me at least, because I have a little bro to take care of. But I mean, after like a few months, I got used to it and things got normal again.
Okay, that was pretty good. So, got more responsibilities to take on once you came here, but everything smoothed out after a while. Yeah. So next up is your 11th year. So you're in your year 11, second year. So what changed from the second year to the first year of high school? What was the difference?
Oh yeah,
personality-wise, the way you talk to people, or just dynamics in general. What happened?
Well, I think one of the biggest thing that happened to me was G-Bait. So it was a debate contest in our school, and I did actually join it in 10th grade. Yeah. But it only, I would say, glow up when I was in 11th grade. So this is back then that was the second contest of forever. So it was big. It was big, and I got to know so many people that are so good. I mean, they're even middle schooler that I would definitely say better than me, and I gained a lot of knowledge after that contest since people also got more confident. I've seen very smart and independent people. Okay.
Oh, cool. We do something for a while. Like your parents probably.
Yeah, probably my mom.
We can cut shit out. I want. Got it. I can cut it out. Alright, keep going.
Okay.
Lead it back. Okay. So, his mom just called him out for some dinner. He didn't have dinner. He already had dinner with me, by the way. But yeah, just to clarify, G-Bait is a little competition where basically there's two teams that are debating each other with 3 members on each side, and they're debating with each other against each other about a social topic, and each team has to take a stance on one side and basically debate why their side is right. So continue with your
Okay, again, I gained a lot of knowledge since I met so many confident and smart people. But aside from knowledge, I would even say it did boost my confidence in general a lot, because I haven't been in such an event before where I can show my opinions. I can persuade people to, believe in me, trust in me. So yeah, it boosts my confidence a lot. And in general, my social life got really better since I didn't do that bad in the contest, and I did get a little bit of fame actually after that contest. So yeah, it helped me a lot.
Okay. So I remember you at that tournament. Yeah, you were really fiery. Like you really had something glowing inside of you. Like you actually really wanted to beat your opponents. Whereas on the other side, they just wanted to protect their stance.
Yes.
But you really wanted to imply your opinion on them.
Yes.
And I thought that really helped your argument overall.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, that was G-Bait. And was there anything else that stand out in that second year? Relationships, all that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also have to mention. So as I said, not technically waste, but I spent my 10th grade just to get used to people. So I started a relationship in, I would say, at the end of my 10th grade with a really special girl. And
you can name her, or you can, keep it a secret.
Let's keep it a secret.
Okay, we'll keep it a secret.
She was special. She is still special, definitely. I have had relationship like that before, but I would definitely say they aren't as unique as her and as that relationship. It came naturally. We did spend a lot of time with each other in 10th grade because we were best friends. But yeah, it bloomed naturally. We had a good time, a very pure and a very pure relationship, and unfortunately it ended in such a way that I really didn't want it to happen.
It was really out of control, yeah?
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll move on to something that's going to relate to that relationship, which is at around the time where you left for America, which was about year 11, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, we're going to stay on the topic about the relationship. How did the dynamic of the relationship change when you left for America? Because if I remember correctly, when you were in Vietnam, it was all, rainbows and colors.
Yeah.
All of that, just fireworks. And when you left for America, it kind of shifted a little bit, I felt.
Yeah, it definitely did. Because at first, I would say that I went to America in August, and we broke up in January of the same year. So, after the breakup, we did talk for just a little bit, but I would definitely say there's still emotion there. So it did affect our conversation and relationship in general. So we talk to each other less and less. So there is a coincidence. So I went at 12th grade. I went on a program called exchange students. It's basically just cultural thing. But I went into a high school in Arkansas of the United States, and coincident.
Yeah, it's okay, bro.
It's fine. Okay, so she was in the same state too, but we're just not in the same town. Since we went on the same program in the same company, it did really make things kind of tense up a little bit. Since, as I said, we didn't talk much, and one of my best friend over there was also her best friend, which made things a little bit more awkward, to be honest. Nothing really happened when I was there because I did had a hard time when I was in an American high school because again, culture shock. But we did talk again when we came back to Vietnam in the middle of this pandemic. We help each other. We talk. We met up at the airport. Things went well. We just, I would say, casual friend now. But yeah, I did regret. I still do. Not that I did. I still do regret that relationship a lot.
Yeah. I guess, people do have to split off after, the right time happens.
Yeah.
Things don't last forever, I guess. But, yeah, going into high school in America, definitely a culture shock. But how did you deal with, moving countries? Since this is the first time you ever had to move countries, basically talk to people that were not your race and, speak a completely different language. How did you deal with that at first, socially?
I would just say, just keep going at it, to be honest. At first, people will definitely look at you in a different way because you don't act like them. You don't live like them. You come from another culture. But after time, it will be something that is really unique to you because you're the only one that do things like that. So I would just say, if you ever go into another country and you gotta spend a lot of time there, just be yourself. Definitely you gotta be respectful to their culture, respectful to the people, and obey the law. But yeah, just be yourself, and that will make you really unique. To be honest.
That's good. That's good. So that was like the school part of it, but outside of school, like how did you see America? Like was it like what was on TVs, like food that was twice the size of the food in Vietnam? You know, what were the streets like? How were the people outside like? You know, outside of school.
Okay, so this feels like I'm trash talking America, but
It's cool. It's a podcast. We can say whatever the hell we want.
It is what it is. So yeah, it's as bad as it is on TV. I would say it's a little bit worse. In general, students. Let's talk about students. In general, they don't aim for education as much as Vietnamese do, because in Vietnam, labor job in general is not paid as much as intellectual ones. And over there, there's not much of a difference between those two. So, for example, if you don't study at all, you can just go and get a labor job, and that's done for the days. And there are people like that I know, same grade as mine, and he just, and I feel that it's I feel that he gave up too early, to be honest, because we have moved on from that progress for like forever. Right now everything goes around computers, AI, and stuff like that, and if you don't keep on studying, you will be left behind, which is a very big disadvantage, sorry. So that's one thing that I really don't like about that. Second thing is, I mean, as I said, Hanoi compared to my hometown, you guys play a lot, but over there they party hard. They party pretty hard. So I mean, it's more of a morale thing. So I think that varies on people, but I also dislike that. Thirdly, they got too much milk, man. The amount of dairy that they consume in a day is crazy. And food in general, I would say that Asians gonna have a hard time getting used to that, because I mean, there are a lot of Asians in America too, but it feels like their food culture in general is based around Mexicans, and I would say a little bit of Italy. So as an Asian, you will have a hard time getting used to the food in general. Besides all of those mentioned things, I would say America is not that bad of a country, because aside from economy, they got really beautiful nature. Yes, that took me a while. Their nature is, oh my god, it's majestic, very beautiful, very gorgeous, very. But yeah, that's pretty much about America from my opinion.
Okay, now this was, for the record, all pre-COVID, yeah? Pre-COVID opinions.
Yeah.
Okay, so first year in America, where did you actually live? Like, the viewers don't know yet, but where did you actually live?
So I live down in a southern state, which name is Arkansas.
But specifically, what kind of household were you in? Or was it like dorms?
Okay, so I live with an American family, because with the exchange program, you cannot live by yourself, because technically you're not 18, you cannot live by yourself, so you still need guardians. And if you did enroll for the program, be prepared, because there are different peoples, definitely. So if you cannot get used to them, or you cannot go along with them, it will be a hard time for you, definitely. Fortunately, I landed on a really good family. They took care of me like one of their child, and I had a great time. Really grateful for that family.
Okay, so first year in America, there's probably gonna be some elements of homesick kicking in. Did you feel it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Right after the first month, actually, because at first I didn't get used to the people there in general. It's not that easy for me. So yeah, I miss my friend a lot, and definitely my parents. Food in general is also one of the things that I miss because, as I said, you're gonna get a hard time getting used to the food in America. But yeah, homesick kicked in pretty early. But after that, after I get used to people, I got a few friends, really great friends that I am still friends with today. And yeah, you'll get over it. But it will be a little bit hard at first.
Because I know a lot of viewers, maybe not that many viewers, but you know the people who are going to be listening is going to be interested in your educational stories. So that was high school, and you graduated from high school, yeah? Next up, university. What university did you go to? How were the tuition fees? And you know, what were your living costs? Where were you living?
Okay, so I lived in Arkansas when I was still in high school, and I moved to Ohio, and I went to University of Cincinnati. In general, I would say if you want to study about technology in general, it is a really great school, since it has this special program called co-op program. It's one of those first school that apply this program for the students. And basically co-op is just internship, but you get to work to real big company, and you get paid as an employee. So I think that you will learn a lot if you join that program. The tuition fee, I would say it is expensive for studying abroad, because just studying abroad in general is expensive already. So right now I'm paying about $45,000 per year, and that also has included meal and house and all stuff like that. But aside from that, you still need money for let's say transportation or entertainment. So it will cost a little bit more. And fortunately, I did get a little bit of scholarship, so I'm currently paying $30,000 per year. That was really lucky of me. And actually, to get a scholarship is not that hard if you did pay attention to it early enough, because it's a merit-based scholarship. So if your result in high school is not that bad, and you do get serious with writing essays and applying early, yeah, you get scholarship. And I would say that is one of the first thing you should pay attention to if you do study abroad.
And specifically, where did you live? Did you live in another household or dorms?
Yeah, so I live on the school dorm, and where I live is not that far away from school. It took like I would say 5 minutes every day to walk to school, so it's not too bad. And the school also has a lot of canteens. So because we have a lot of dormitories, so yeah, household and food in general is not a big problem, definitely.
Now, how were, I guess, the classroom dynamics changed from, you know, moving up from high school to university? Because in Vietnam, there's already a huge difference where, you know, you're not as friendly to your, university class as compared to your high school class. And, you know, with the addition of COVID as well, where you have to study online, how much did it affect you?
Oh, it affected me big and badly, to be honest, because the high school and college in America is not that different. The silhouette of the classroom is not that different. But in college, since it's college, people don't really care that much about each other. I mean, you might know their name because they're in the same class, but you might never even talk to them. And also, due to the pandemic, I actually never have been to a classroom in my university before, because as I said, I study IT, and it's really easy and convenient to study online. So yeah, I actually never met any of my classmates. Never been to a classroom before.
Now, you were in America during the pandemic, yeah? And you see a lot of, I guess, political problems going on in America right now, where the discrimination against Asians are really, really big. Did you feel any of that during your time in America, or was it a really just a rare thing in general?
I wouldn't say it's a rare thing. I personally, I have not met any of those things before, but it is not a rare thing in my opinion. I did get discriminated when I was in high school, but it wasn't due to the Asian hate. It's just because
bullies are gonna be bullies.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
But when I was in college, I only spent I would say a really short time there. I actually only spent I would say 5 months. So 4 months actually. So it did not show up that clear because as I said, I study online. I did not go to class, so I didn't get enough chance to meet people in general already. So I would say those situations were rare to me. However, according to news and stuff like newspaper or just stuff online, I don't think Asian hates are rare. It's a real thing, and it is a burning problem, I would say. People should, I don't know, give help. The government should do something, definitely, because, I mean, Asians are also Americans.
Hey man, the world is fucked up. You can't really change a lot about it. Okay, so you said you were in university for 5 months, yeah?
Yeah.
And for the whole entire time, it was lockdown, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
How was life in America in lockdown like? Were everybody around still going out, or was everybody in their house all the time?
Actually, everybody still went out, to be honest. But the thing is, people did take cautious against COVID. Their mask and with hand sanitizer, they're prepared definitely, because I would say that to stop going out, it really affects the economy in general. So people still have to, because I mean they gotta work to live, right? So they still went out. However, they did get prepared, and I would say that is a good thing in general, because I mean they got a family to raise, and they cannot just leave it like that. So yeah, they are cautious, and also businesses also help them with hand sanitizer or social distancing and stuff like that. So I would say they did do a good job.
Okay, so I guess we kind of covered over this a little bit too early before, but you study in IT, yeah? And you said that your passion right now is music. And what was what made you have the decision to study IT? Like, what did it click one day, or what pushed you towards IT basically? Because I see a lot of young kids. Well, we're still young. We're only 19, a bit mature for our age. But I'm gonna say a lot of younger kids these days, they really like to choose majors that are in trend, but not something that they see themselves doing in the long term or the long future. So what was the reason behind your decision basically?
I would say it's because IT, it has always been there. My dad, he a mechanical engineer, but he did study IT before, and for me it's interesting, to be honest, because there's so many things that you can do with just a computer. I would say that
Alright guys, so back with the podcast. Sorry for the little cut and the little jump right there, because our phone ran out of battery, so we had to cut it off a little bit early. But now we're back at it again, and we just finished talking about your major, so IT. And next up, we're going to be talking about, so you were in university for 5 months for the whole lockdown, and you were basically in your room for the whole 5 months, yeah?
Oh yeah.
How did that, actually affect your mental state?
I would say it was the hardest time in my life ever, to be honest, because I've never experienced such things before. How should I put it? So, again, a new environment, didn't have that many friends, and the only social thing that I actually did was playing football. And even that, my teammates were just teammates. They, for some reason, they didn't want to open up that much. And as such a social awkward person, I also didn't, I would say, approach to them, and which leads me to such a situation. So as I mentioned before, I studied IT, so everything was online. So technically, apart from going to the canteen and playing football, I didn't have any, I would say, physical contacts or just connection, interaction with human at all, because I was awkward, and I didn't have the confidence to go out and meet people. So it gave me really negative thoughts in general, because so my family, we're not rich. I would say we're middle class, but compared to our relatives back in the hometown, we were fairly
privileged.
Yes, privileged. Yeah, that's the right word. Thank you. So I did feel pressure from my family, actually, because my parents, they're not taking care of me and my brothers only. They also have to take care of family stuff in general, because as I said, I am privileged and they are not. So as a brother, my dad, he also had to take care of his nieces and nephews, which made me guilty a little bit, to be honest, because I didn't do that well in school. So I felt like I was kind of useless, to be honest, because I had such an opportunity. I was born in such a wonderful family. They give me so many things. Oh my God. They give me so many things. They raised me up. They invested in me so that I can go to another country to open up my knowledge in general, just for the knowledge only. And it's really pricey. You not only in an economical way, but in also other stuff too. My dad, he usually goes home late just because he have to work extra time to get a little bit more so that I can go to America. So yeah, definitely I felt useless, because if I thought that if it wasn't me, if it was somebody else, they would take this chance, and the result of them just would be so much better. And here I am in this room alone, dark, and I failed so many things. I failed school, I failed my parents, and I feel hopeless. And I kind of wanted to end it, to be honest, because if I have this chance and I cannot do to the best of it, then I should not have the chance. I should stay back and be something else, so that better people can take the chance and success. I think so.
Okay, I see.
And those thoughts only also made my schoolwork in general, it just got delayed, and it got worse and worse. So it was a pretty dark time.
So yeah, the financial thing really weighed you down. A lot of times where you felt it was a really pointless thing to do. Yeah. And I guess all this started in university. Yeah, it was a period in university where you were alone a lot, and there were a lot of time for you to think about things. Yeah. And so how long did this I guess train of thought last, and what was your lowest point in general?
I think it lasted for at first, when I just entered the university, it wasn't that bad, because at first things were easy, and one of the factors that didn't that made it went so bad is the lack of playing football, which is kind of weird. So when I first came in, I played football a lot. I would say 4 times a week, and I got to meet people. I mean, we were not friends, but just human interaction. It did help. It helped a lot. But when it got to the winters, and people play sport less in general, so that's one of those things that did affect it. And the way that I got out of it is, it was pretty, I would say, pretty lucky, to be honest. So I had this new academic advisor, and I think that instead of just end it here, because I felt hopeless and I actually did not see any solution to get out of it.
Not just for the record, you mean ending it is just basically the lowest point where you're thinking suicidal thoughts, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, also gotta mention that suicide was the only option that I thought was available, because if I went this bad, I cannot just come up back again. So this advisor, her name is Driscoll, gotta mention her, shout out to you, love you so much.
We'll send this video to her and
Yes.
timestamp this.
Yes, definitely. So I did seek out for help at first. So I called the suicidal hotline.
Oh, okay.
And I cried and told them about my situation. Right now, looking back at it, that was kind of pathetic, to be honest. But I think that was a good thing to do. I told them about my situation. I did not really like this major, and I was useless. And the answer they gave me was so simple, yet it's so far from me to just think of it out of nowhere. They told me to just tell people, tell your parents.
Sorry for the little interruption, guys. We were in the middle of our story here about the suicide hotline, and you were mentioning that, the caller, I mean, not the caller, the receiver of the call, I mean, the hotline, basically told you to tell everybody you know about your problems. And could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, yes. So I thought that, wow, that was such a simple solution that I could not even think of, and which kind of made me doubt my intellect a little bit, to be honest. So at first I talked to my advisor about it, and she said, that's all right. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so that happens to not only me, but actually a lot of people. So I got things figured out. She told me that I would still have to do stuff against, with my courses on that semester. So I finished, I would say, 2 out of 6 classes, and the rest I did a withdrawal on all of them, which made me to I'll have to study them again in the summer, in this coming summer. But she helped me out a lot. She comforted me, and just advised me to tell my parents about it, and I eventually did, and they understood that, and they lent an ear, they listened to me, and things got figured out quite easily, to be honest. But at that moment, I could not come up with this just for the sake of, I would say, depression and the idea of being lonely, to be honest. So I would say Miss Driscoll, she helped me a lot with my problem on that semester, on this semester, and I would definitely say she's a good person, very kind-hearted. I'll be very grateful forever, definitely, because she's such a great person.
She basically gave you a second chance in life,
yes,
almost.
Definitely.
But now fast forward until now, it's about a few months later. You've came back to Vietnam. You've had basically a really good time here. You'd say yourself, a lot better than America.
Oh, definitely.
Say. But I think we're gonna have to wrap up pretty soon. So I just wanna ask you one little last thing to our audience, that a lot of younger guys in high school are probably gonna think about going overseas as well. And what's the one thing that you wanna tell them, or you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself before going to America? Basically, what are the tips, or what would you advise yourself?
First of all, you gotta be determined about it, because it's not as simple as it sounds. Going to study abroad is a different thing, because you're not only living alone, you also have to face your problem alone. And some people might already have done it, but you just gotta be prepared, mentally and physically, definitely, because as I said, going to study abroad is pricey, and also culture shock is a thing that would definitely affect your well-being in general, because if you don't get used to it soon enough, it will make things go pretty bad for you, definitely. Besides that, you gotta set a goal. I mean, at least one, because if you don't set one, I mean, it sounds really simple, but if you don't have one, it would be very easy for you just to give up. And by that time, when you already been there, giving up is not really an option anymore, because, as I said, it's pricey, and going back might cause you a lot of troubles in academically in general, to be honest.
All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap up today's podcast. It was great having you on the podcast here. You're probably gonna appear on this for quite a few more times, but yeah, we're gonna end it here, guys. If you guys liked this podcast, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. We still haven't determined the name for this podcast yet, but we'll figure it out along the way. Alright guys, catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Peace out.